Hi everyone. Decided I wanted to record a game of Slay the Spire today. Been having a lot of fun with it lately. May 20, I'm gonna play some Ironclad. I'm sort of an Ironclad expert, so let's take a look at the map. There's only really one okay path here. Um, I can try to get the super elite if I get a good relic here at the beginning. I think I'm gonna just take the boss relic. Not really looking forward to potions. Yeah, there we go. I think that is actually pretty good. I'll try to take some hallway fights here, build up my deck a bit before I do that. It should be relatively safe, even going to the super elite now. Although this wasn't great, not getting any defense cards here. This is pretty much just a standard early game. It's questionable taking dual wield here, but I've found late game it's a pretty good card and can get you some um, interesting and dangerous combos going. So I took it just for that purpose. Um, yeah, I'm dual wielding the strike just to get close to a guarantee that I get three strikes in the next hand rather than just two. Prevents me from losing a health. Almost always take pain here. Curses are quite bad, but this relic is just too good. It's amazing, so I take it. Remember, the beginning of the game is always just trading life for cards, essentially. Mark of Pain, the relic that I started off with, adds 2 wounds to my deck, which is quite bad. But you try to basically minimize the amount of damage that you're taking. Little mistake here. I could have dual wielded and killed, but didn't take any damage, so it wasn't a big deal. But adding the 2 wounds, they don't do anything to my deck, so it's pretty painful just having those come up. I took blood for blood because I didn't really have a nice big attack. I wanted something for the super elite. Here I'm going to trade 4 of my life for an extra hit on this guy who's growing because I would like to kill him this turn if I can, and then defend. And here I can just pound this guy with my big attack. This is kind of a tough choice, actually. I don't have any strength, so I'm not going to take Heavy Blade, but Pommel Strike's a good card. Battle Trance is a really good card. I kind of need attacks at this point. If I get sort of lucky, Battle Trance is going to be better for the Super Elite. But I go ahead and upgrade Blood for Blood here. I don't think I need to sleep at 40 health, even going into the Super Elite. Okay, and actually the Super Elite is pretty pretty favorable for um, the Battle Trance pull. Helps me cycle through my deck faster, which prevents them from flooding it as quickly, which is nice. I should have drawn first, but it turns out it might have actually was a little bit better due to the pain coming up. Save just a little bit of life. I'm going to go with the back one first because it has 2 fewer hit points, and generally you want to kill these guys pretty quickly so they don't destroy your deck with a lot of stuff here. This is going to be an extremely close fight, I think. And I really don't want to have to run. But that means I'm going to have to drink my potion because I would die here otherwise. But from here, it should be pretty straightforward. So let's see what we can do. I'm sacrificing some life here. It's probably a mistake, to be honest, because that means now if I Get hit with another one. Oh boy, yeah, no defense, so I have 1 life left. Although it looks like, yeah, we'll get a kill here. We've got, uh, what do we have coming up next? I think I saw we have a sleeping place, is that right? Campfire? Yes, okay. So we can take Offering then. Offering's an insanely good card. It is basically the most efficient card in the game. Oh man, getting Molten Egg early on Ironclad is insane. Molten Egg will upgrade all my attacks that I get going forward. And that combined with the tongs make this. It's probably going to be an easy run, especially because I've got some defense already with Thread and Needle also. If I can just get a few little strength pumps and other things, I think this is going to be an absolutely breeze of a run. I keep going ahead and upgrading, or rather, building up my strike pluses. Oh, I've got even better defense now. That's really good, and an upgraded pommel strike. This is. I might have to sleep here coming up with this next campfire, but it's sort of okay. I get 10 default defense, which is completely unexpected. Rather than use an Offering, I just kill here, which that's the type of thing I would do. Oh, and now I have Corruption. This is actually a pretty bonkers run. Corruption is, probably, in my opinion, with Offering, the best card Ironclad has. So I kind of hate these guys. Well, this guy in particular. But starting off with Blood for Blood with Offering is decent. I can kill him pretty quickly. Notice I drew last, and that was sort of on purpose to make it so I take as little damage for pain as possible. I didn't know I was going to get it, but just in case. And I knew I could get close enough to a kill. I take Anger here. Anger is, especially Anger Plus, feels like a pretty good card. And I don't end up having to sleep. I didn't take as much damage as I thought I might from the Thief. The next upgrade here is going to be Bash. It really helps against Slime Boss when upgrading it. Now I have a decision here. I'm going to grow with Cultist Potion because it can be a little bit close sometimes with as much health as I have. I'm not going to use Offering because I use Battle Trance, so I can't draw anymore. And here I'm going to hit Pommel Strike, even though it immediately goes away. And I'm just going to take this in the face because my 10 extra health essentially every turn. And duplicating this is one of the reasons I thought maybe a dual wield would be okay, because I get a kill without him transforming, which is nice. Oh boy, this is an interesting choice. I'm thinking Reaper Feed. Obviously, I don't really need a second Corruption. It's not necessary. Reaper is extremely good, just healing all the time. But I'm pretty good at last hitting, so I've got some big attacks, I've got some small attacks, I've got Anger, so I can control how much damage is happening, and I don't have any strength. And Reaper is much better when you have strength. So for the time being, I'm going to take Feed and try to build up my health, and that should help offset pain. Here I'm not seriously considering Ectoplasm. The slime just sort of doesn't feel right when I've got so much gold already. Here I'm thinking, do I want to do a defend and 2 strikes or 3 strikes? Note you don't want to do pain because it'll just convert back to a curse and won't upgrade for the obvious reasons that curses don't upgrade. But I'd end up doing 3 strikes. I just don't think they're very good in the late game. In fact, they're absolutely terrible in the late game, even with Ironclad often getting some buffs. I'll duplicate Body Slam. This guy can actually be pretty annoying, so the more damage I can do quickly, the better. Now I decide here to do this in order to potentially get pain and then allow me to play Bash and then also Blood for Blood. And I happen to get lucky with that. And notice I can double tap it also because it reduces my health, so Blood for Blood comes down by 1 for each card. Here, I probably don't need another Body Slam. I'm thinking maybe I'll be trying the, the old defensive trick where you just build up your defense really, really high and then Body Slam a couple times after Entrench and win. So I don't really need 2 Body Slams for that, especially when I have dual wield. The path I've got available here looks pretty decent. A Feel No Pain is pretty much always called for in Ironclad. You can, especially when you have corruption, a lot of really good stuff comes out of just throwing everything away sometimes, all of your defensive cards away, and Feel No Pain makes that easier, which is nice. And I'm going to pick up this Disarm too. It's not particularly good against the kid, the end boss of this act, but it's extremely good against Heart, and it's extremely good against actually 2 of the elites in the 3rd act. So I can just use it to blow it on things here. I don't have to actually use it on this guy. That said, this guy is extremely annoying, so I feel justified in just going ahead and killing him as quickly as I can. Since I get 10, only lose 1, I'm not going to use any defensive cards. And so here I just blast this guy away. I could wait to feed on him, but taking so much damage up front, I don't even think I want to. These cards aren't particularly good. None of these things go towards building up defense or, for that matter, even being particularly strong attacks, so I'm not going to bother. I don't take the liquid bronze. I just don't think I need it. Now here's something interesting. I can get rid of the wounds with this medical kit. The wounds from Mark of Pain. So I go ahead and take that. I think it's better than a lot of things. I'm not going to take this curse. I just got rid of pain, and I don't have much money, so it doesn't feel right taking it. I've got a pretty good setup already. Here's one of the enemies that Disarm is good against, and it got upgraded. That is super nice. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of pull out all the stops here. I'm not going to play Corruption yet. I kind of want to keep some of these defensive cards for now. I'll just keep hitting him. Go ahead and take a little bit of damage here because there's pretty much nothing else to do. Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe I don't want to. So let me just use that. I'm going to duplicate feed for no reason other than make it more likely to have it come up when this guy is ready to die. And now I'll use Corruption and start blowing through my skills. I can kill this guy now, or I can take some damage. It's not going to be much damage. I'm not going to hit dual wield because... Oh, actually, I don't take any damage. That's right, because of the +6. I just grabbed my feet here, so... Again, trying to max out health, and Feel No Pain is really good. Ooh, and this is a super interesting call, actually. I think I'm going to take it since I have Molten Egg. I only have 2 strikes left, which is kind of a lot to trade for 24 max health. But I've still got a feed, so I can still build it back up a bit. And bites can end up really saving you in the long run. So I'm going to do that. I shouldn't have played Feel No Pain first. I should have played the other card first. That would have saved me 4 health, or rather 2 health. But this is another place where Disarm is extremely good. I could probably play Corruption here, choose not to. But I probably could have. But from here on, I pretty much don't take any damage from almost anyone. I start feeding to try to build up my life again. Sorry, not feeding, biting. Very vampiric Ironclad today. I like this guy because I can slowly build up my attacks against him and just constantly hit him with bites and replenish as much as I can. Now I'm playing Corruption finally to just start getting rid of cards so I can potentially get my feed quicker, which I do right away. And didn't have enough life left to bite him one more time, so that's alright. I decided to take a Whirlwind here. Still not actually sure if that was a good idea. It did happen at work alright with Ornamental Fan, because you can usually throw it for 0 and proc your extra Ornamental Fan. And I really don't need the health here, so I'm going to see what's in. I could do Burning Pact or Entrench. Potentially do Feel No Pain or Flame Barrier. I'm leaning towards Entrench or Burning Pact. Entrench would be better if I had Barricade or it were upgraded. Burning Pact, I do feel like I'm running out of cards somewhat regularly, even with being able to get rid of the wounds right away. So I think I'm going to do Burning Pact here, yeah. Okay, let's see here. We'll come here. None of this stuff looks particularly appetizing. I think I could potentially remove a bite, but I think I'm actually going to buy this weak potion, yeah. We'll get rid of we'll use the weak potion on Kid if we need to when he goes and transforms. I think that makes the most sense. We're going to use some bites here, and pretty much we're going to try to double feed. I noticed this run, I really did not run into very much good luck. I notice I do that first, but once I actually have some utility out of it, I go ahead and add it. I probably would have saved the 3 health there, but that's alright. My luck was terrible this game, getting a lot of just poor rolls and outcomes. I have one more attack left, and I can actually proc more defense by just using my 0 cost ones, so go ahead and do that. Now I don't get my dual wield at the same time, even though it was also in there. It was pretty unlucky. And since I have the ability to cast that and get rid of the artifact charges, I go ahead and do that too. Also gives me a little more defense. And I'll go ahead and offering, even though it costs me some life here. This guy can be decent to just regenerate your life off of. I probably should have dual wielded that. I wasn't really thinking the bite. Don't have to do anything else, so I'm just going to skip it. No, actually, yeah, let's hit it. Alright, now we're going to bite again. I'm kind of hurrying up here because I have work at 9, so I like to be ready for that. And at the time, it was about probably 8:20. Actually closer to 8. So we're able to get full health off that guy. Now I don't have any strength. This run is really a tale of I don't have X, but maybe I'll take this for later. And none of these other cards seem very good. Combust isn't horrible, especially with the new Rupture. But I think Limit Break is closer to what I'm going to want. Take the extra Campfire here. For an upgrade, I think Offering is good. I just keep running out of cards. Take some damage here. These guys often come out pretty strong. I think there's enough cards I'll burn through with Feel No Pain to justify playing it. And Shockwave, that's an extremely good pull. Very happy about that. Let's start healing off some of these folks a bit. We can hit this guy. When I was saying I had terrible luck this run, dual wield almost never came up at the same time as feed. So I ended up losing a lot of health in that sense. I just didn't get anything out of it. I did feed a lot. Despite the bites, I ended up getting up to, I think, 95 health or so. And just playing that defensively, go ahead and exhaust that so that we make the cut here. And final turn, I can just feed. And Dead Branch. Well, I guess that's game over. And Feel No Pain Plus. It's definitely game over. Dead Branch plus Feel No Pain Plus Corruption is pretty much an easy game. There's really no difficulty there at all. So I'm going to even upgrade a Feel No Pain, and there's the boss of this act and future bosses will have very little chance as long as I can get those in play. And getting it in play the first turn is extremely good. And getting the other Feel No Pain Plus in play second turn, I'm just going to be getting a lot of life here out of that. Since I didn't actually have to do that. I don't know why I defended, since I get 10 default. That's okay. And now I get 2 more Feel No Pains. And now when I blow it, I get 16 by default, which is incredible. That is so much. I didn't actually want Limit Break to hit that because I don't have any way to gain strength yet, and it would be better to be able to just exhaust it, especially since it gives me 16 defense. But perhaps with corruption, we'll find a way to get some health or some strength, rather. So far, no good. We're going to burn that since we can't get any strength yet. Just, we don't have any. We're going to double tap. We're pretty much going to blow this guy up right now. Very, very painfully for him. That was a good call, getting some extra energy that way. I didn't need to play Dark Embrace here. I didn't think, because the extra draw really sort of doesn't help with Dead Branch Corruption. I probably should have double body slammed here. Would have pretty much killed him instantly. I don't know why I didn't. Actually, I guess it sort of makes sense. I think I end up feeding here, which is nice. And I don't shockwave because he's going to clear everything this turn. But as this is probably the last turn, let's see if I can simply burn him down. I cannot. So I weaken him just to, be safe. And I'm just trying to get him down to a reasonable amount for feed. And since it doesn't seem like I'm likely to get killed here, and I've got a shuffle coming up, I just go ahead and use that and start literally just destroying the rest of my deck. Unfortunately, I'm not getting any feeds, or I'm not drawing any, even though I did play the Dark Embrace eventually. Actually, I'm not sure if I did, now that I think about it. I might have just blew it up. But ultimately, it shouldn't matter. Feed probably next turn or the one after that, and it can defend pretty easily. Now there's a Reaper or another feed. Actually, Juggernaut's not horrible with Dead Branch and Corruption. Demon Form would be my first strength, which would help me out in a lot of ways. So I'm really thinking probably don't need a feed since I have dual wield. Reaper would be incredible if I had strength. But Juggernaut and Demon Form are actually hard to tell. Juggernaut can generate a huge amount of damage just by, permanently getting getting skills with the Corruption, Dead Branch, and feel no pain, and just constantly pumping out damage. It's very, very easy to kill elites with that. I end up taking the strength. I'm not too unlikely to get some kind of strength relic, and having 5 with Demon Form is pretty good. I take Busted Crown. My deck is actually pretty close to set. I don't really need that many cards, so not really worried about it here. And here I'm just pretty much trying to build up my defenses for the beginning of this fight. I can use this to heal completely with bites since they regenerate. I'm also probably going to be taking quite a bit of damage here, so I decided to use this fight to gain as much health as I can. It's good that I drew a lot of defense there. It helps a lot. And I'll just start the train now. It's kind of boring, to be honest, but it's not too bad. And I dupe feed here. I got a barricade. That's super good. That really ensures that I can just completely heal up off of these guys, no matter how much damage they end up causing me. So that's really useful. And duping feed lets me ensure that when the last one is ready to die, I can feed off it. And as you can see, I have a ton of defense here, and I can just keep going. That's how this ridiculous combination works. I realized I should have probably hit the other guy, but doesn't really matter. With barricade, it'll be just fine. I'm not actually sure I should have gone for strength. It would have been easier to completely heal off these guys if I had not, probably. Because at some point I just end up one-shotting them with a bite. And I could feed here. It would definitely kill. But I'm going to be greedy, I think. Yeah, we've got literally infinite defense. Might as well just heal up completely. There's not really any reason not to. You'll notice I keep not playing Dark Embrace when I get it. That's because with Dead Branch, it's just going to fill up my hand that much faster, and that's not really what I want. Okay, so I've got full health now, enough defense that no one's ever going to hit me, enough block. And I think that's going to be it. Feed will kill. Power through is really good, actually. So I'll take that. It's extremely good against the heart, because it's so much block when he's constantly damaging you. I considered Rupture here, and Spot Weakness, and Card Remove. I can't afford all of them, I think. Or maybe I can, but I'm not sure that I want to. Rupture is sort of... It doesn't really help me that much yet. I only have Offering at the moment. There are plenty of ways to get cards that damage me, but there's not necessarily a reason to yet, so I felt like it was a bit artificial to go with Rupture. I'm going to take this one up. I'll skip some hallway fights. I know a lot of people, especially when they have bites, will go with all three. I didn't really feel justified. There's not a lot of colorless cards that help me out here, I think. I really didn't want normality, despite the fact that there is a single shop up there. I just don't think it's worth it. And getting an extra relic is good. It's pretty much always good. And here, grabbing this disarm, I was really happy with that. You can throw up this block the next couple turns. He's not going to do much. And there's a slightly weird thing. Notice I am gaining block, even though I played Panic Button already. And the reason for that is I already had my Thread and Needle and Feel No Pain in play. So I just constantly gain block from those still after playing it. I don't gain it from cards, but those are powers slash, powers, essentially. So I also gain it from these metallicized that I put down. He's pretty gimped right now due to that single disarm. Most of his main attacks just don't do anything. And having Feel No Pains now, pretty much guaranteed take no damage this fight. And there's feed, so I just go ahead and kill him with it. Stone Calendar is actually quite annoying. Rage is quite good. This Busted Crown is not hurting me as badly as I thought. But basically, Stone Calendar will end up killing a lot of enemies when I didn't want it to. And, I mean, I'm sure that's my fault for not working around it, but I really wish I could have. It would have been a bit easier. And I'm just going to go ahead and start plowing through this stuff. Evolve I thought was good because it helped me draw my initial cards, but it ended up being too much. It's one of the interesting times when you sort of don't want draw, is when you have Corruption Dead Branch, because it just ends up taking over your hand and making it so you can't draw even if you wanted to, and it just cycles when you're not necessarily wanting it to cycle. And here I have enough defense that I don't need to hit Panic Button. Up by 1. There's another Feel No Pain. A lot of defense. A lot of strength now. And more strength. And you get some strength. And you get some strength. And I decided just to kill it instead of playing Feel No Pain, because it gets me the Ornamental Fan proc, which is nice. And there we go. Corruption. This fight is over. Oh, if I could have played Barricade, that would have been good. And I'll do a wheeled body slam because it helps a lot here when you have Barricade. And since I know I have that coming up again, I'll just use it. I wait off here. In order to try to feed. getting entrench helps, although I don't really need it at this point. Really, I just need to get cards out of my hand, and Dead Branch is not helping. Pretty much just looking for feed at this point. But I end up just waiting instead of biting, which is a bit foolish because I didn't check Stone Calendar. I probably should have taken the exhaust here, the elixir, but ended up not. It would have been useful to get rid of any like terrible cards that come up from Dead Branch. And I'm so close to full, I decide just to go ahead and recall here. I don't really need many things upgraded. Getting spinning top here, or unceasing top, is bonkers. I'll never run out of cards due to Dead Branch, pretty much. But if I do, I have basically unlimited everything at this point. I go ahead and remove another bite. While they're certainly useful, they're definitely not the strongest card in my deck. This fight can be annoying because I'm pretty much relying on strength and decently sized attacks with body slam and stuff to try to outstripe him in terms of damage, and he pretty much prevents that every other turn. Like now. But luckily he's actually stacking my deck with burns, which I can use to build up some defense and some other things once I get out my Feel No Pains. And there's one right there, so I'll go ahead and play it. My hand is actually quite bad right now. I need to weaken him and get as much exhaust going as I can. But as you can see, it ends up being absolutely fine. And there's not really a good card in my hand, so I can True Grit. And getting another disarm, or a disarm, getting my disarm rather, is pretty good here. I notice whenever I exhaust something I get 11 defense, and I've got Barricade out, so might as well exhaust everything so I can take as little damage as possible from this guy. Heck, might as well even do that since I get 11 regardless, or actually 15 regardless due to the thread and needle. And it would be nice if this guy would actually be really nice if I needed to heal, because I could attack him on turns where he's not immune to attack, but where he takes no damage. But ultimately, I just want to feed off him at this point. And I don't, because Stone Calendar's about to go off and kill him. Burn him a little too low. I'm going to switch this out. I probably should have switched it out for the other one. But it's not horrible. I'll throw Evolve up. It should help me get my feed combo going when it comes up. We'll see, but in theory it should help. I, of course, did not get dual wield. Don't know why anyone would ever think I would get that. So I'm going to wait, see if I can get it within 3 turns. Probably a mistake. Of course, it comes up next. I'm going to start getting rid of cards. And I'll put dual wield back on top since I'm about to shuffle. Oh wait, it comes back. So that's just silly. Notice it doesn't wrap around here, even though I am exhausting cards. It's because I can't hold any, so it's approximately worth it. And because I have so many cards in hand, I can't get anything, so this is effectively worthless. One more turn to actually just try to feed in the first place. And it looks like my hand is going to get full before I can even do that. So I can just end turn. I'll die. Definitely don't need either of those. This guy can actually be extremely annoying. I actually might want to consider just smoke bombing here. And in fact, I just do that. I probably could have taken the time to try to feed, but I didn't really feel it at the time. I go ahead and upgrade Disarm since I'm close to Heart. Still not completely guaranteed to get there. In fact, Time Eater is he's probably one of the tougher bosses, Act 3 bosses here. But I'm hoping it's going to be okay. Alright, we'll go into our next elite here. This guy should be pretty close to similar to the last fight we had. We can kill this guy. We can body slam, which is a little bit nice. I sort of didn't want to use it because I'm losing extra health due to the defense there, but I'll keep it, it's fine. Here I just try to kill the highest value target that I can. I'm going to take some damage here. But technically, even though it's a little bit dangerous with this guy, I can try to heal up completely with bites. I think I don't end up doing that. But you can definitely get a lot of life off him since you have infinite little guys. Here we start the train. I should have dual wielded that. Wasn't thinking. You might ask why I'm removing them, but dual wielding them. It's all based on, the state of the game at the time. Dual wield can hit anything, and while corruption is out, it goes away. So you have to pick the best possible target. And in my case, I didn't notice here. I could have whirlwinded to get an extra 4 defense. That's okay. But you try to hit the best targets basically. And at this point, I can't really body slam because the guy will just straight up die, and I want to feed. That said, I might be able to actually work through and kill him now if I pick up some okay cards here. And rather than waiting and biting, I just go ahead and kill him. And Calipers is extremely powerful. This makes it so I don't have to get barricade. I can kind of just go with it. And I sleep here. I don't really need any upgrades at this point. And there's not really a point in wasting everything here. Well, I'd go ahead and do it anyway. Probably shouldn't have. I would have saved 2 health, but I think it's fine. This guy is going to kick my butt, which I'm not happy about. Mostly because I can cycle through my whole deck as many times as I want, and it straight up will not matter, and just keep pumping him. So that's super bad. At this point, since I can't get block, I'm just trying to figure out what I can exhaust to try to generate it. And he doesn't do his normal thing where he takes a moment to not attack me for a little while, like with stacking fires. So I'm extremely annoyed with that. And he gets me real low. This was a good turn. And I go ahead and just play this. Gives me 4 extra block, even though it pumps him 6 total. It's not so bad. At this point, I'm just kind of hoping everything keeps up. Did get that exhume, which is extremely nice. Can pull back feed if I want, or limit break if I just want to try to kill him as quickly as possible, which I do. The interesting thing is I can just go for the kill here and not feed. I also didn't bite though, which means I'm going into this with 11 health, which is not great. So it's going to be a close one if it happens at all. Should not have burned that, frankly. did not help. So I don't get anything extra out of it. And at this point, I'm just struggling to stay alive. So I didn't see any need to do Bloodletting Fiendfire, since it's not gaining me any life yet with Feel No Pain. Corruption's fine now, though. I can use it to generate an absolute ton of cards. And even though I'm not dead here, I'm very, very close. So it's interesting how this ends up turning out. I end up using my potion. It's a little bit dangerous, but pulling that metal card, whatever it is actually quite good. And now I pretty much go into not thinking mode. Because even though I've got only 5 health left, there's pretty much nothing going on. And calipers will keep me relatively topped off until I can get what's it called in place, so I'm not really worried about that. And finally on turn, even if I had both of my extra bites, they're pretty inefficient at this point, simply because it's nearly impossible for me to actually cycle my deck, given Dead Branch gives me a lot of cards that don't cycle. But it's sort of okay. And that was just accidental, to be honest. I should have fed on them, did not. Would have been really nice to be able to feed on at least one of them. At this point in the game, you're just trying to maximize your health with Ironclad, typically, to try to make it, a little bit easier against Heart and against his minions. Although I do take a nice little tactic here against his minions. The final elite fight here, the guy on the left, the shield, he constantly generates a massive amount of block, and I end up using that to my advantage. Now, I don't have any potions here, and while my health is decent, it's not great. So I'm going to buy both of these potions. I don't think I need to remove anything. There's nothing that's super pressing. No curses, no more strikes. At this point, pretty much just doing standard. Let's hit everything with what we got. I don't want to use panic button yet. That might actually come in handy later. Notice whichever way we face, that character does less damage. So I'm just trying to, at this point, face whichever way makes the most sense. A little bit dangerous to do pummel first, but I didn't get... I got an attack, so I could still play Clash, which was nice. Here, instead of playing Demon Form right away, I have to... I just double check because I got to find some way to turn left, and I do. But I did not take it because I have so much so much block from everything. I just, it did not matter. And so now that I have Bear Kid, I'm just trying to save as much of my block each turn as I can. So I'll turn towards this guy. And I can dual wield feed here, which is nice. And not common, as you've seen. Whether or not I actually get to use them, that I don't know. Don't think I do. But I had a double tap, so I do get it on that guy. Now at this point I'm thinking I definitely want to just heal the full off this guy. So I'm going to do everything I can to just wait for bites. Trench is really nice for that. I got to play Panic Button just to get it out of my deck. Same with Italicize. Not so worried about him actually doing anything to kill us at this point. So as long as he stays alive, I can heal up to full and not have to worry so much about heart. And I'm just waiting again for my bites. So I intentionally burn Demon Form because I don't want to grow too big for it to be not useful to bite. That's just to save on some of my own health. It's not going to hurt him. So sometimes there's some keys to letting him knock your strength down so that your bites can just go through this. Not really any skill here, to be honest. This ended up taking a long time. I think we're going to try to speed up here. I should have double tapped. Not sure why I didn't. I might have wanted to just try to get him to grow his shield as much as he can. Ah, the boot has arrived. Finally, just what I was looking for. I don't think I need either of these. Going into the heart with full health and 2 health related potions. Super good. As usual, my hand sucks against him to start, so we're going to try to get as much stuff going here as we can. Maybe we can drop into I feel no pain, but no, that would be too good. Bite is really useful against this fight, so not so worried. I'll go ahead and build up a rampage. It's not that useful, but it doesn't hurt either. And because of my early disarm, he does no damage this turn, which is nice. And boot automatically does 5 at least, which is nice for being weakened. Now this big attack, I'm ready to just go straight into corruption and generate as much block as I can here, which is not too difficult given everything. And actually, I'm going to dual wield Juggernaut. That thing's going to be useful in the long run against this fight. I'll go ahead and panic button. He's done a small attack, big attack. He's going to be pumping next turn, and then he'll have another attack on the turn after that probably. So should be completely fine. Still not finding my feel no pains, which is extremely obnoxious. Okay, but getting that does help a lot. Getting a barricade is very useful. Now I can start really building it up. These evolves aren't bad. Questionable whether or not it's worth wasting some of my block. Finally, a single feel no pain. Good timing on Shockwave. I can get rid of his artifact charges immediately. I don't really want to play Anger. It's just going to flood my deck with terrible cards at this point. But here we go. Generating a lot of block here is extremely useful. Because he's going to have another big attack very soon. Should be right after this. Rupture's not useful, but I want to get rid of it. Yeah, this is going to hurt potentially. So I'll go ahead and drink the health potion at this point. Because of Dead Branch, I actually have a ton of strikes in my deck. Sentinel's a really good pull here. And Rage too, and Limit Break. All these things are just going to put a simple victory for me. The reason I don't really want to play Anger is it's just stacking my deck, even Anger Plus, with more Angers, and they're just not that good. However, another Juggernaut is great. Whenever I burn anything, it generates a bunch of damage now. And it was actually pretty easy. Happy with that result. Despite the fact that he had a 90 hit with multi-strike. Was not that tough to beat, actually. Let's go ahead and take a look at our stats. Yeah, not too difficult a game with Molten Egg right away. That made it so I didn't have anything that was an upgrade attack-wise until Dead Branch. And then that was just things that Dead Branch generated. You can see not many relics, actually. A very low relic run. You don't need much when you have Dead Branch, especially if you've got Corruption too. So it ended up being all right. Pretty straightforward. Happy with that run. Thank you all for coming. Let me know if you want me to keep making these. I'm happy to. I really enjoy Ironclad, and I'll probably make others too eventually. Bye now.